welcome back to the Shane and Shelby Show.
I'm Shane, and this is my beautiful wife Shelby over here. How you doing over there, baby?
Oh my God, you're not going to talk in this accent the whole time.
We'll see what happens.
Oh my God. Okay, so today we're going to recap our spring break. We actually just got back from spring break today, like a couple hours ago, and we're already here filming this podcast for y'all. So, dedication. Look at us go. Also, this may have been, actually, no, it comes in second as the worst spring break ever. This was my choice. This trip was my choice to go on.
Emphasize the "my" on that.
It was. I was stupid. I was so stupid. I decided to go to a cabin in the woods.
Good intentions, though.
I thought, okay, well, if the kids are going to be bored somewhere, at least they're bored in a cool cabin in the woods. Wrong. Because
They were bored.
they were bored. And I think that they would have rather been bored at home.
They did tell us that.
They did tell us that. And the thing is, so I guess I can tell you guys where we went now that we're back home safely. We went to Broken Bow, Oklahoma. We're in North Texas for reference there. But we're both from Arkansas. And I think that this is very key. So if you talk to anyone in our area in North Texas, where they go on vacation for like freaking everything, it's like, oh, we're just going to go up to Broken Bow. We're going to stay at a cabin in Broken Bow. And they made it sound like this great place, right? Like if you like listen to everybody else, you would think that Broken Bow is like literally the only place that you should go on spring break or like a Christmas trip or whatever. Wrong. And I don't fully understand why everyone feels this way about Broken Bow, because let me break it down for you. Broken Bow, there is literally nothing there. Other than what was there? Girls Gone Wine. What else did we have? A rhino petting zoo,
Cheesecake on a stick.
corn dog stand, the saloon. Food was pretty decent there. Some pizza place that had an hour and a half long wait for pizza.
There's one pizza place.
One pizza place. And a bunch of cabins just off the side of the road, not even in the woods. Like the cabin we stayed at, yes, it was nice. I will say, like, thank you to the people who hosted us there. It was a good cabin, but you're literally not in the woods. It was like this gravel drive with like 6 cabins on it, all sitting beside each other, no actual backyard or privacy, and there's no leaves on the trees. So it's literally just stick trees to where you can see everything around you. There's no nature to explore. There's dead leaves and wind.
Yeah. We saw a few bones in the yard.
Yeah.
But that was the extent of the nature. A couple of cows. A few streets over making some noises, but
Yeah.
yeah.
So I don't really know why people from Texas recommend Broken Bow. It is a short drive.
Mhm.
So maybe it's because it's a short drive. And it's only like, 2.5 hours from here. So you can just drive up, rent a cabin. And like where we're at is not country.
Right.
Like there's some land around us that they're building on. And we don't really have backyards here. And I think that the majority of people from Texas or in Texas are not from Texas.
Yeah, that's my hypothesis, because I think when people think Texas, everyone is assuming cowboys and big wide lands with cows and longhorns everywhere. And there are parts of Texas like that. We are not in that part. And so it's very different. I don't know of anyone that we know that's actually like from this area or from in Texas in general. Like pretty much everyone that we know in this area is from somewhere else, most from California, like all over the place. And so no one here is country, I would say, like at all. Like you're not going to find the F-250 guy jumping out with a cowboy hat and a belt buckle on, even though I got me one. Can't really see it. I got my belt buckle on today, just trying to, fit the vibe. But yeah, I think that's where we went wrong is trusting a bunch of never been to the country people about where to go in the country.
Yeah, it was really stupid listening to these people, but this is not our first time
No.
to go to Broken Bow. So that's where I messed up. So we went to Broken Bow, what, 2 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
But we went in December. We actually pulled the kids out of school. So it was just like a random couple of days. I think we spent like 3 or 4 days there, maybe just 3. It was a pretty short trip. And we stayed in one of the coolest cabins that I've ever seen. And it wasn't that expensive because it was in the middle of December on a weekday that nobody else was going. So I thought, these aren't too bad. It held like 16 people. All these cabins sleep like a ton of people. There's only 4 of us, but I decided to get this cool cabin that December. There were like slides in the kids' rooms. If you watched our wine series, you saw I did slide down that drunk one time. Um, but we had a good time. It was like rainy and gross, so we literally just stayed in the cabin. We baked Christmas cookies. We watched Christmas movies, and there was a hot tub. It was like kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so I thought, okay, well, everyone says to go in the spring, so it must be better. There must be things to do when it's actually warmer. No. And maybe so I will say that there are some things to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was a little petting zoo that we didn't pay for because I think it was just some chickens and goats. There what was it? There was a bowling alley, but it wasn't I don't know. It wasn't what I expected when everyone talked about, like, going somewhere cool for spring break.
Mm-hmm.
And so we literally just stayed in the cabin, and I was just assuming that it was gonna be better, and it was not. I would honestly say it was worse than when we went at
It was
Christmas.
worse, yeah.
Yeah.
Because at least there was like Christmas vibes to the last one.
Right.
Like, oh, Santa's coming in a couple of days. We can stay inside and sit by the fireplace and drink some hot chocolate. This was not that at all.
No, the kids played on the swing set a little bit.
Yep.
We had to teach them beer pong.
We did.
Because what else is there to do when you are in the South on spring break?
Let's clarify. There was water in these cups.
There was water in the cups.
No underage drinking.
No. No. But I do think I actually didn't get any hate for it when I shared it on Instagram, and I honestly expected to.
Yeah.
I had one person message me saying that when she shared, because her kids like to play it, when she shared about it, she got hate for it. Because it's like teaching kids drinking games. My thought process on it is you might as well teach them the drinking games now so that when they're playing them in college, they're winning and not getting drunk.
It's important to be good at that one.
Right?
Yeah, we might do flip cup next time.
Yeah, I think they do need to learn. I mean, they're pretty young, but they do need to learn these games.
It's debatable, but I would say yes.
So we did that. They did swing sets. They had a lot of screen time
Yeah.
because it was just boring.
Yeah. And my thinking was like, if you're gonna have screen time, at least like do it on the patio of a cool cabin. So I think it was sort of a win, maybe, but not really.
It wasn't a win. Audrey even told me, she said when we got here, I was just not excited to be here. And the fact that we were staying for 5 days, I was just like really upset about it. But then midway through, we like had a little bit of fun. And then on the last day, she was like, I'm ready to go home.
Yeah.
And to be honest, so was I.
I mean, yeah. I don't know. So she's 11
Yeah.
and is, quite the hater on literally everything. So we're at that stage where we could have done everything that came to mind and just like had a yes weekend or whatever the hell they call that. But she still would have hated it. Like she's going to hate everything.
That's true. I think that this is my hot take. Road trips suck.
Road trips are awful.
They're awful. I genuinely don't understand the people who like to go on road trips. Like seeing those people with campers, like you bought a camper. That means that you're like driving that thing around and you're like choosing to go on road trips a lot. Like people that just like retire and then live in these campers and go on road trips all the time. Like, what are you guys thinking? Have you not been anywhere else? Like, go on a plane. I promise it's better.
Yeah, I'm definitely pro plane.
I mean, the planes are crashing right now at like a really high rate. So some people might be a little scared. If it's my time to go, it's my time to go. I'm just going to go on the way to Florida. Okay?
Emphasis on, getting a good plane.
Yes, JSX, we love you. They're not flying yet right now, or else I would be on them.
Yeah.
And so actually, while we were in Broken Bow and I was contemplating life decisions, um, because I was so mad at myself for this trip. Like I'm honestly still really mad at myself. Like we're even back. It's been 5 days. I'm still mad at myself for booking this trip. And I don't know if I'm ever going to get over it.
You took away time from my dog. Me and my dog are close.
So we were going to take Nala.
Yeah, we were. That would have made it better,
I think it would have, but we were so concerned. So we did not take our dog. Mind you, our dog is 100 pounds
at least.
at least. And she doesn't travel. She's never traveled. She's been in the car several times, when we sold many houses and had to ride around for showings, but she doesn't really enjoy the car.
No.
And she's never been anywhere like to stay at someone else's house. We've never taken her to Arkansas. She has like peed on a leash maybe twice. And this cabin didn't have a backyard. So we were supposed to take her. And then I read the listing thing and it said no pets over 50 pounds. Well, she's about double that. So the people did actually say that they would give us an exception and allow her to come. But our dog sitter was available and we thought it would probably be less stress on the dog to not go on this trip.
Mm-hmm.
But looking back on it, it would have been more fun with the dog.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have anything else to do. So we could have just walked her around. She would have eventually peed.
Yeah. We had nothing else to do.
Right. But while I was sitting there thinking about all of these bad choices that I had made, yesterday we thought, or I thought, what if we just leave early? So we had the cabin until this morning. And it was probably 10 a.m. yesterday. We went to breakfast, got some coffee. We're sitting in the backyard. It's windy, so windy, like 20 plus mile per hour winds. And I'm sitting there going, you know what? We might as well just pack up and go home. Like, what else is there to do?
So I was briefly on board with the idea until I recalled the last time that we left a trip early. You wanna dive in on that one?
So we've been on a many of trips. One of them was my bright idea to drive to Florida. Now, from Texas, the trip to Florida is lengthy, but we're from Arkansas. And so growing up, at least in my family, we would drive to Florida and it was like 9 hours, which as a kid isn't too bad because you're not the one driving. And so I grew up going there. I thought it was no big deal. So we lived here. I think it was one of our first years in Texas. I was like, hey, let's go this summer. Random, like quick trip. We were poor then, but it was a quick trip to Florida. And so we decided to drive. Well, we drove through the night because that's what I grew up doing. Is you drive through the night, you get there and have like more time at the beach. So we decided to drive through the night, but it was, I think, how long did it take us? Like 14 hours?
Yeah, I think the quote was like,
I think it was supposed to be 11.
yeah, 11 or 12 and took a lot longer than that.
Yeah. So that's how long it took to get there. So we're tired, but we're having a good time. We spent, I don't know how many days we spent there. It's been a few years now, but we spent quite a few days at the beach. And then it was our last night at the beach, and we'd gone and had this big dinner, and it was like 6 or 7 o'clock at night. And I have the bright idea, hey, why don't we just go ahead and leave now? Like, we had spent all day at the beach, mind you, like all day at the beach, showered, gone to dinner. We're completely full. We've gotten home, two little kids, and we're supposed to check out the next morning at like 10 a.m. But thinking back on it, you always drive through the night, right? When you drive to Florida, you drive through the night. So my thinking was, hey, why don't we just go ahead and leave? Like, we don't have to spend the night here. So I convinced Shane. He's pretty easy to convince, not anymore though. He was back then. I convinced Shane that we're going to drive through the night. And so I'm like packing everything up. Nothing was packed at this point. Like,
Oh.
I just randomly decide that we're going to do this and start packing the entire condo. and load everything in the car, and we decide to leave. Well, Shane ate so much food. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, was it Joe's Crab Shack or something?
Yeah, I
You
went
ate
nuts.
the biggest, like,
I like the
platter
bucket. Yeah.
of seafood that they made, and so he had eaten all of that. We get in the car, and of course, it's dark, and so we're starting to drive. It was absolutely horrible. Horrible. So, he got sick to his stomach, you were sick to your stomach, we were both extremely tired. We were taking turns driving. I was falling asleep driving. We get pulled over at this, what was like a sobriety check
Yeah.
or like a, I don't know, was it a USA check? It was a weird, they weren't
Something.
checking sobriety. They were checking like our driver's license and passports, or I don't know what it was, but it was in the, I think at 2 a.m. in Louisiana or something. And I was asleep in the passenger's seat, and I wake up and there's a cop standing in the driver's window, and I'm looking around going, "What is going on?" I thought I was going to jail. And so it was absolutely terrible. We get back home finally 14 hours later. Shane has the flu.
Yeah.
Comes down with the flu. He does not do well driving on road trips ever.
Especially that one. So I remember the last like, I don't know, 4 hours. Like I thought I was doing good. Like went most of the way through the night. It starts getting like sunrise and I'm just feeling awful. And like I tried to throw up at one of the
Yeah.
gas stations. Like it was bad. And so that's why we stayed our ass in this cabin. I am not leaving early. I don't care how much it sucks.
Yeah. So, I mean, we could have left yesterday morning at 10 a.m., and it's literally a 2.5 hour drive. We would have been perfectly fine back home.
Maybe.
But because Shane is traumatized from what I put him through before, he said no. And then I was like, okay, well, if you don't want to drive back home, what if we just leave here and go to Florida and drive to Florida? Why did I think of this? Because flights are like $800 for last minute economy flights. Who's paying $800 for economy to go to Destin? Not me. So I was like, okay, how far is it from Oklahoma? Can we just drive there? We'll stop at Target, buy some new clothes all along the way because I only packed 3 shirts and spilled coffee on one of them. But I was like, I mean, a cabin. I literally packed one swimsuit for the hot tub,
Mm.
a few shirts, 2 pairs of jeans that I didn't wear because who wants to wear jeans when you're going and eating fried food?
Chicken fried steak.
So I had the bright idea, like, why don't we just leave a day early and just drive to Florida? Just buy stuff along the way. And Shane said no.
I stand by it too.
I think it was probably the smart choice. But I'm just really mad that I didn't just spend the money. So the whole thing was I didn't want to spend the kind of money for spring break because spring break in Destin, it's gotten up there. Flights, they've gotten up there, especially to be killing all these people. So the flight price is astronomical. And then and you don't want to drive. So then you also gotta pay for the condo, and man, it was so expensive. I should have paid the money though. It would
Yeah.
have been worth it.
Should have.
Especially because I'm, like, looking at all these people's social media who are going to Florida, and I'm like, "That should have been me." Like, that's my happy place. And so also, while I had nothing to do at the cabin, I was looking at beach houses. Do you know how expensive those things are?
I do because you told me.
Yeah, like, why don't I have $17.5 million dollars?
Because you have morals.
I do have morals. We had this discussion too. Like, I guess some people with OnlyFans could be buying these beach houses if they want them, but that's not me.
Mm.
But it's really sad. So we made a bad decision. I I made a bad decision. Shane just went along with it.
Yeah, as I normally do. I will say, so, you know, coming from Arkansas in a double wide on some land, we have like a different view of like the country. And so I think, you know, other people might have enjoyed our trip. So I can't say like, because there's so many people here that like love going to Broken Bow and we don't. And I was trying to figure out like, why does this suck so much for us? And it's because, at least for me, I grew up in the country. Like my parents were both of them semi professional bass fishermen. And so I I literally lived this life, probably went to Broken Bow as a kid and, rode on the bass boat while they were in a tournament or something. And so it's just not for me. And I think the highlight of my trip is when I got all country and fit in real well with the locals, and the kids were like, "What the hell is this?" Cuz
Mhm.
they have not seen that side of me before, but I was born in it. I just kind of like, you know, graduated out of it.
Yeah, I
They
feel
were
like
shocked.
you chose the different path. So most people that we grew up with, feel like stayed country,
Yeah.
and you chose completely different lifestyle, completely different accent. As did I, but I didn't grow up like you grew up. Like you had the land. I had a little bit of land towards the end, but it was
Yeah.
still in a subdivision. But yeah, you grew up fully in it, and I grew up around it, not wanting any part of it. Like, I
Mm.
am the girliest girl. Don't put me in the woods unless we're in Vale.
Yeah. There's definitely levels to the country. I've become aware of that.
Yeah, I do not like the Oklahoma country, the Arkansas country. The people that say, "Oh, I wanna go to Arkansas, it's so pretty." Nope, not for me. Not for me, but take me to Vale all day, every day.
Yeah.
I will sit outside even with the bugs, slightly. Even with the bugs in the fall, or maybe summer bugs in Colorado where they're, like, kinda non-existent except those flies that bite.
Mm.
I'll sit with them and just, like, stare at the mountains and listen to the creek and watch the trees. That sounds fantastic
I wonder if Colorado country people like Arkansas country.
because it's different.
Yeah,
They shouldn't.
I agree.
I just don't know. I can't wrap my head around it, like, why anyone would choose that and why I listen to them.
I mean, if you're from like New York and you're just like in the city life, hustle and bustle and taxis honking at each other, it might be nice to go listen to some birds chirping in the gravel roads,
I
I
don't
guess.
know. Vail, man.
Yeah.
So much better. Also very expensive though.
Yeah.
So I can see why people don't choose Vail. Like given the choice, taking a couple hour drive to Broken Bow versus flying to Vail, very different in price point. But they have jacked up the price of these Broken Bow cabins
Yeah.
so much. Like everyone went out there and decided to buy up all this Broken Bow land because somebody said it was a great place to go. Don't know who decided that that was the place, but they're making a lot of money. And
They've got a tourist destination though because of apparently Sasquatch.
oh, is that so?
I mean, I guess someone supposedly saw him there, and there's all these like squatch things.
Oh, I just thought that was part of like being in the country.
No, I think maybe he's a local.
Oh,
Yeah, you got to have a thing. Like if you're a country little town, you got to have a thing. I think that's their thing.
I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah, he was
I mean,
everywhere.
I saw the signs. I just thought that's like part of being in the woods.
No, that's normal, not normal. Yeah,
Oh, interesting. But yeah, all these people bought all these cabins and they're like building these mega mansion cabins too. Not just like tiny old like wood cabins. No, these are like nice cabins. Some of the really expensive ones, the ones that I wanted but didn't want to pay for to be in Broken Bow, have like the cold plunges, barrel saunas.
we should have done that.
We should have done that.
That would have gave us something to do. What if we just like pick a town somewhere that has like 40 people in it and just like buy up the strip and turn it into
A destination.
Countryville?
I think, might as well. I feel like we can convince any of these non-country people that we know country.
I feel like I could convince somebody here to stay in my childhood double wide. and they'd probably love it. Give them a 4-wheeler and tell them just go do something. That's pretty much what they did in Broken Bow.
I mean, yeah, just in a nice cabin.
Yeah.
They did have that bougie little strip.
Yeah.
Shout out to whoever built that. Really great coffee shop. What was it called? Local something? I don't know. I have a picture of it. I'll put it in the description box or I'll tell Shane too. But there's a great coffee shop there. I did really like it. They should probably open one here.
Mm.
I would never drive to Broken Bow again to go to it, but at least they had it.
Yeah.
In a bougie little Italian place. But the people there, okay, so from being from the South, you expect Southern hospitality. At least I do. Growing up in Arkansas, that's a thing. And Broken Bow didn't have that.
No, they were all assholes.
They were so rude. Like, even the servers and Shane was like, well, maybe they're like overwhelmed, because it's a sleepy little town and this is, spring break there is like super busy. And it might be, but if I knew that this was the week that I was going to get all the tips, you best believe I'd be throwing on my Southern accent, but my little Southern belle charm and getting some tips. But they were not nice.
Mm.
These little girls, not nice. They need to maybe go to Arkansas or something because they're not teaching them right in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And there's no Southern hospitality in Texas.
Yeah.
That does not exist here.
I did get me a nice chicken fried steak, though, with some mashed potatoes and some gravy. That was probably the highlight. That was nice.
Yeah. Oh, so do you want to tell them what we did? Because there was absolutely nothing else to do.
Which part? we were digging for something.
Oh, we did. This is separate. That's not what I was talking about. We played that cat dog pizza taco game. What was that game?
Taco, cat, goat, cheese, pizza.
Yeah. So we played that card game with the kids. And Shane and I are like really aggressive. We also played Monopoly, but Shane and I are like really aggressive with games. I think I'm a little bit more competitive, but Shane's like violent.
I'm a winner.
Yeah. So it's like where you have to slap the card.
Yeah.
Shane tried to take all of us out.
I got good reflexes.
I don't, but I wear rings. So I was like, I'm going to get you back. And the kids really hate losing. We're really big on winning.
Yeah.
Probably need to work on that.
Very competitive.
Yeah, very competitive family. We also played Monopoly, like multiple rounds of Monopoly. I think the kids are getting probably not any better.
Yeah. I won 2 of those. Benji won once, though.
Benji did win.
So I did teach him the slumlord tactic.
Yes.
I'm big on the slumlord tactic on Monopoly, where you buy the cheap stuff and get them sofas real quick. We had the Friends Monopoly where it's coffee cups and then sofas. So yeah, you get those 2 first ones right after you pass go. Put you a couch on them bad boys and just sit and wait. I won the first round with that, and then he won the second round with that. It's a solid little tactic. Call it the slumlord.
Yes. So we played games. But
and foosball.
Oh, I don't do foosball.
I got them good in foosball.
Yeah, they had this cute little loft upstairs that had foosball. And so it was a loft which was open to the living room, directly above the bedrooms, and there was foosball, Pac-Man, and ginormous windows with no curtains. So the entire thing was like glass, no curtains, shades, or anything like that. And the kids just like woke up with the sun.
Yeah, that wasn't ideal.
No, that was a really bad design
flaw. Sleep in.
Yes. But after we did get the kids to bed, we decided to watch TV because, like, what else do you do? And we stayed up until like 1 or 2 in the morning watching Temptation Island, which if you listen to the last podcast, I swore I was not going to watch. But all of our other shows ended. There was nothing to watch. And so I decided to give it a try. And come to find out, it was actually a pretty fun show.
That shit was good. That might be my favorite show right now. I'm not going to lie. I was pretty skeptical like you at the beginning, but man, that was entertaining.
That was entertaining. We binge watched the entire season while we were there.
Yeah, 10
Um,
episodes.
10 episodes, and there is no reunion. I just saw that came out on
There
TikTok.
needs to be a reunion.
There should have been a reunion, but there's not one. So apparently this show has been airing on, what was it, USA?
Yeah.
Yeah, really crappily.
Yeah, now it's on
And now it's on
Peacock.
Netflix.
I think the old ones are on Peacock.
The new one's on
The
Netflix.
new one's on Netflix.
Yeah, so Netflix picked it up and they're saying it's season 1 is what just launched, but it's not. It's like
I agree. It's season 1 because you can't count that other stuff.
the other stuff was just not the same. They did keep the same host. I really liked the host,
That's
Mark
good.
Wahlberg.
Mhm.
I really liked him. I think that the reason I didn't want to watch it is because I don't believe in cheating, as you shouldn't, like, obviously. But I didn't really know what the show was about. So it was these couples coming in with like issues, that some serious red flags. Where's my red flag? Um, but some serious red flags. And so then they put him into these like temptations. And basically it was like, okay, you know that this man's gonna screw up immediately. And they did.
They did. They did hard.
They screwed up real hard. It does get a little, I would say it might be like a little on the raunchy side.
Yeah. Apparently the older ones are even more raunchy. And like we watched the first episode of like season 5, one of the old
We
ones.
tried
Well,
to
we
watch
tried
it.
to, yeah. And you could tell immediately those couples have zero chance. And so I did like that, at least one of the couples in this last one had a chance and like did well, but I was not shocked that the others burned away like immediately.
Yes. So if you haven't watched it, then skip fast forward through this part because I am going to share some details on it. So Lino and Alexa were the only couple to they weren't the only couple that stayed together. There was another couple that stayed
Yeah.
together. But Lino and Alexa, he proposed.
Yeah.
So this was the couple that was together for, what was it, like 3.5 years?
Mhm.
But they both had some issues. And I think I've seen it quite a bit about this come out, and let me know your thoughts. He would have cheated. He just didn't have anyone that wanted to cheat with him on that other side.
I agree.
Yeah, none of the women liked him.
Yeah. That one, so like listening to him, he was talking about how like basically she was like his only girlfriend or partner and he wanted to like play the field a little bit before like settling down and no one wanted to play the field with him is what it looked like cuz there was a few moments where he was like hinting at like hey, let's do something and like no one took him up on the offer. So, yeah.
Yeah. So I do think that he probably would have screwed up, but he didn't. She didn't. They're really boring,
Really boring.
and he proposed.
Also, let's just blanket the entire women's section of this show as
Oh.
being the boringest shit. And I feel bad for all of the dudes that had to like basically like console them for 10 episodes.
So I think it's the same thing as, what is it? Is it Love Island where they go to the villa, the separate villa?
Mm,
Yeah, they go to
yeah.
the separate villa and they try to like break up the relationships or whatever by bringing in new people. And the guys are always going crazy in their villa with these new people, and the women are just like sobbing.
But that's not the entire show. That's like a section of the show.
It is. This entire show, the girls' villa was sad.
Just crying and needing someone to talk to.
Yes, theirs was definitely more, it was 100% friendship vibes.
Yeah.
And it was really sad for the guys.
It was really sad.
But the guys' villa was just like having lingerie parties, paint parties, all sorts of stuff.
That
They
was
were like
cute.
going crazy. And these these girls, I really wanted them to go crazy. I was like, "Come on, like you're guys," and they don't know. Like
Yeah.
they actually did
They
know.
did know
They apparently
after the
the first.
first or second bonfire.
Yeah, so they found out, and the girl, Shantae, oh, girl. Woo,
That was hard to watch.
that was so hard to watch, and she saw her man. She saw her man break the boundaries
Mm.
by a long shot,
They're
and
gonna go for it. Go all in.
he went all the way and then some, and broke them all, and then said, "I have no regrets," and she watched that and still stayed with him. I'm sorry, but
That's a good woman.
no, that's what
That's
he said.
wild. Yeah.
That's what he said, but that is so wrong. I'm so sorry, but if your man is cheating on you, I don't care if it's in a reality show or in real life, you best get up and walk out.
Yeah. So we've had a, pretty good relationship, but I could see like couples watching this that have some, history of stuff like that going on, like have a hard time watching this, like some side eye the entire episode. Like, you did this shit. Remember that?
Oh my god.
That'd be kind of awkward, you know?
I mean, we've never experienced that because I would leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Samesies.
Yeah. Cheating's wrong. Get up and leave. There are no second chances because we saw that this show is all about these people have given their significant other a second chance. All of them have been cheating on. And they gave their significant other a second chance, and do you know what? They did it again, given the opportunity. And I mean, I guess it worked out that they went on the show and figured it out on national television, but good grief. So the first one to screw up, who was it? Grant. Ashley and Grant. His nose, massive. Um, that's the main thing I have to say about him. But he was giving red flags, red flags, red flags. She was a cute girl who did not need to be wearing that ponytail. God bless her. But she was so cute, sunburned as heck. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, she got roasted.
Someone should have given that girl some sunscreen.
I remember when she first popped up, like day 2, like we started the episode and she comes on and I'm like, what the hell is wrong with our TV? Like, what happened to the coloring? And she was just burnt.
She was real burnt. God love her. But I think he had cheated on her in the past. He's got a baby mama with a baby. And she thought he was gonna keep it together. He did not. Immediately did not. In the shower, she saw it on the TV and was like, "Peace, I'm out." Which good for her. But then she finds her two boyfriends, both of which are 22. And what was she, like 28?
Yeah.
And then she decided to leave the island with one of them.
Yeah.
But then I did just see on TikTok that she got back with Grant right after the show ended, and the girl that Grant left, I don't know if he didn't leave with her,
Yeah.
but apparently they were dating after the show. The girl that he hooked up with, they were dating after the show, and he cheated on her with Ashley.
Woo.
And then gets on TikTok live and is yelling at Ashley, and has since come out and made an apology about how it's not something that he wants his daughter to go through.
With her, like, finding 2 guys that were both 22, and like the fact that those guys were there and none of the girls were 22 or even close, what are they really trying to do?
They were
trying to
just
make some relationships?
No, they were trying to tempt him.
Yeah.
That was the entire point. I don't think that anyone was supposed to like fall in love with their person, that they found on the other
Yes.
island. They were supposed to end up back with the person they were dating. But the Tay and Tyler and Taylor, those two, that went real south. But we saw that one coming.
We saw that one coming, and I kind of have like a different perspective on that one. I think he was better off leaving the girl that he came with.
To go for Kay.
Yeah. Not even like because I thought Kay was great, but the girl was talking shit about him the entire time.
She did not like him.
She did not like him. She was like trying to make him someone that she could be proud of, but he just wasn't. Like he was doing his own thing and finally found somebody that was like cool with that. And I'm kind of proud of him for that.
No, I'm honestly glad that they broke up, Taylor and Tyler.
Yeah.
So confusing. And then Tyler did leave with Kay. They're not together.
That's fine.
I don't know the tea on that because, again, where's the freaking reunion show?
Yeah. They did look cute together though.
They looked really cute together. I think he's just like super immature.
I mean, maybe.
And the Taylor chick was not it.
Yeah. Which he was only like 25 and she was in her 30s, right?
She had some control issues. I don't really know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they weren't supposed to be together.
So you're talking about Taylor, the principal from Santa Claus 2?
Oh my god. So we were watching the episodes and Shane was like, "Wait, who does she look like? She looks so familiar."
It
And I
took
was
me like 30 minutes to figure this out. And I was just staring at her. And I'm like, this is somebody. I've seen her before. And I figured it out. She's the principal from Santa Claus.
yes. And she did like and there was one clip where she was walking. I was like, "Oh my god, she's giving principal vibes." So it wasn't just that she looked like that character. It was like the whole persona.
Yeah.
It was pretty wild. Um and then a lot of people are saying that Grant looked like that. It was the guy that you showed me, that Simpsons character.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what I'd never watched that show, but there are other people saying the same thing, that he looked like that. But overall, I don't agree really with the premise of the show.
Mm-hmm.
I stand on you should not cheat and no one should ever go into that show like willingly. Like, why would you do that? That's just like setting yourself up for failure. And if you think that your person needs to be tempted, you probably shouldn't be with them to begin with.
Yeah. I have some pointers for next season because we're going to watch it again. And that would be to have a relationship where the girlfriend is the crazy one so that something happens at the girls' villa.
Yes.
Because having freaks dudes over here and no freaks on the girls' side, that was kind of boring for them.
It was really sad for them. Yeah, I think the whole villa needed a something.
The most disappointing part where Ashley, who actually finds a person, is like, hey, let's just go like hold hands and go into the boom boom room and just to like set the light off and then come out. What the hell is that?
Oh, I did have a good idea for the show. I think I told you it. Where if so for the women, instead of having like these 10 or 12 guys that come into the villa to like tempt them, it should just be like a bunch of women who are just hype girls.
Yeah.
And everyone's just like partying and having a good time.
Oh, hell no. He better not be doing that. That shit would get nuts. Y'all'd be like keying cars and stuff, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. If you go to the bonfire and your man's cheating on you, oh yeah, let's go. And so there would be no tears. It would just be like craziness.
I like that.
I think that would be so much more fun because are the women really going to be tempted? I feel like they're not there for the women to be tempted. They're trying to tempt their man to see if he's going to, stick with it. He fails. Girls should have fun.
Maybe like 2 or 3 ex-boyfriends in there too. Yeah. That
That
way
would
they
be-
could either like get with the ex or just like take out their anger on the ex.
Oh my
Like
God.
doing the same shit or something.
Netflix, we have the best ideas. Please implement them. Okay, I think that was it for recap. Anything else about Broken Boat or vacations? Oh, I really am trying to find us a beach house.
I'm more on board now
With a beach house because
because
we went.
we are ruling out other places to vacation at a rapid pace.
Yeah, if it's not Florida or Vail, I don't want it.
Yeah, I think that's what we've narrowed down to.
Yeah, but there are so many other places.
We talked about was it Jackson Hole?
Oh, we are supposed to go there this summer.
Yeah.
But I'm starting to think that I don't want to.
I think it's more outdoorsy.
We just did outdoorsy and I didn't like that.
But that's like ride on a moose and snowboard, right?
In the summer?
Yeah, probably not in the summer.
No. So I'm thinking maybe we pass on Jackson Hole and we just like live live in Florida.
Okay.
Okay, hot takes.
All right.
Texas isn't all that great. And I don't know why everyone chooses to move here.
Mm.
Like these Californians that are moving to Texas, why?
Well, I'm going to disagree with you because we came here and we have the opportunity to go anywhere.
At the time, we didn't.
At the time, we didn't, but we do now, and we could leave, and we haven't.
The only reason we haven't left is because our kids don't want to move again. But Texas isn't that great. Like the Californians, I know why they're leaving there. You know, I would too. But going to Texas, what is it? Is it the fact that there's a bunch of jobs in Dallas? Because all these people are remote, so they don't have to live here.
That's valid.
They could live in Broken Bow. Why are they not living in Broken Bow?
Not a good internet in Broken Bow.
Okay, what's your hot take?
Foosball is the best family game.
No.
What's better?
Monopoly
No.
and cat dog pizza taco.
I can for sure rule out Monopoly because that takes hours.
Foosball takes coordination, which I don't have.
We'll get it. And
I-
play the best game there is.
No. Basketball.
It's not the best family game.
Yes, it is.
No.
I'm great at basketball.
If you were great at basketball, then yeah, because that'd be three of us. Or three, or right now we're 3 out of the 4. So, like, we can't put you on a team because that's just not going to work.
So rude.
Babe, you shoot that thing over the goal quite often.
It's because I learned how to shoot on a hill, okay?
Oh, yeah.
I did. I had a basketball goal. I was 10,
Mm.
and people recruited me to be on their basketball team because I was tall.
Yeah.
I'd stopped growing. But apparently, I did grow past 30, but that's a separate topic. So they recruited me to be on the basketball team. And so my dad bought me a basketball goal and put it in our driveway that was at a slant like this. And so I couldn't shoot from the top of the driveway because it would go out into the street. And so I shot from the bottom.
Yeah.
And then in the games, actually not in the games I didn't ever try to shoot, but in the practices, I shot over the goal every single time. And then in the game, I only played one. And I was that tall person that ran down to the other side of the court and they hit me in the head with the ball and I sat out. And then I broke my finger and never played again.
That's solid. So yeah, I guess you're right. You should definitely be on our team. Oh. My goal was in our yard.
On dirt.
On dirt. Well, it wasn't dirt. First, it was just grass. It was the flattest part of the yard, though, which still wasn't very flat because it's just yard. And the dirt spots were under the goal from all them makes, and then also at like free throw line and a couple of spots around the arc where I just like dribbled so much that it turned into dirt, which was great until it rained. And then can't really use those spots anymore.
Did you even have a net?
Yeah.
You did?
I mean, it was sitting outside, so you'd have to replace it, but there was a net.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Every once in a while, you get a nice little whiff of my neighbor who was growing some narcotics under his double wide, who was, right beside us. So that made it a little more enjoyable.
And then the cows across the street.
Yeah, those cows across the street. We had a horse in our yard for a little bit.
You had a horse?
Yeah. Hang on, giddy up.
Oh my God. And we lived in the same town.
Yeah.
But I did not live in that.
Had a horse, had a pond. Yeah.
Okay.
Wasn't really a pond. It was kind of just a big old hole. Sometimes it had water. Sometimes it didn't. That's how I got my tan in the summers, though. Get on the old John Deere and mow that bad boy, 5 acres. That's how I got most of my allowance. I didn't put that in the last episode, but yeah, remember that. Dang, we had the regular one with the steering wheel. Then at some point we did get the I forget what it's called, with the 2 handles, 0 turn.
All right.
Indeed.
Okay, so what have we learned?
Uh, well, if you're from the country, don't try to vacation back to the country.
Oh, this is another hot take. Let me get ready.
Okay.
The reason why all of our spring breaks suck is because our spring break set the bar so high.
Yeah,
Like
I could agree with that.
last spring break, I became Betty Crocker and tried to make everything from scratch, including Cheez-Its, mentally screwed up. Year before that, we went to Legoland and I decided to be in this castle thing with other children and songs that played 24/7 and characters and awfulness.
We need more details on that one. So, well, that was 2 years ago,
That
spring
was
break.
2 years ago, we went to San Diego Legoland, and that was literally hell on earth. Hell on earth. This little castle music and Lego people playing out in the freaking courtyard until, like, 10 o'clock at night, and I was so tired. I was, bawling, like, "Get me the hell out of this place." This was awful, awful. I'd paid so much money to sleep in that stupid freaking castle, and I just got up and walked out. I told the people, "I'm not gonna stay here anymore because this is hell on earth, and I don't know why anyone would. Like, why did I pay money to stay here?" And we, like, lost all that money and then went to San Diego and stayed in, like, a nice Hilton or something on the water and literally did nothing because that was better than that hellhole. So that was 2 years ago.
Man,
Shoulda
that
gone to
was
Florida.
that was a good trip, I will say. So, if you've listened to all these episodes, you know that we're not kid people. And this is the most kid-friendly place we've ever seen. Like, you get in this elevator and there's this Lego wizard doing spells, taking you to your floor. Everything is like castle-y Lego. There, everything talks to you. You're pressing buttons everywhere, and it's just talking to you. We get into our room, which was right beside the courtyard, where they do all the like interactive exhibits and stuff, and have the kids out there singing songs and live music, which was like, I don't know, like medieval times kind of kid versions of stuff
On repeat.
on repeat.
It never ended. You woke up to it and you went to sleep to it, except for you didn't sleep. And it was literally hell on earth. And I would never recommend to a friend. I would recommend to, like, my worst enemy. Honestly, like, send them there. Torture. Absolute
The
torture.
kids loved it.
They did, except for they probably didn't enjoy it once I, like, lost my mind.
No, they try to get away from you.
Yeah. No, I lost my mind. That's why we can't do Disney World.
Yeah.
Because kid places. Disney cruise? No. Cruise in general, you put me on a boat with kids? No. But spring breaks, they're either at the beach or they're at the beach. And that's it. That's it. I've determined, never again.
Okay. So this time next year podcast on location on the beach.
Yes.
Yeah. I'll get my like funnel hat, get my tanks out.
Yeah, your let's get weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll be a vibe.
But either way, we are moving to Florida.
Mm.
So next episode, talk about all the houses I found and all of them that I can't afford.
Yeah.
And how I'm going to make a plan.
It's going to be a fun week ahead.
Fun week ahead. Got to call a realtor. We're moving.
All right.
All right. See y'all later.